Good afternoon, everyone. This is Hadil Hussein, a senior associate of the litigation team. And today we have one of our clients, Mr. Pascal Beveraggi, a renowned businessman operating in Africa and the UAE. And we're here to have a focused discussion on one of the most controversial cases in both these continents, the Octavia versus Astalia case, which has made major headlines in multiple newspapers and multiple legal magazines. Welcome on board, or welcome with us, Pascal.
Hello, Adil.
Hi. So to start with today, we will first of all give a brief sort of outline of what is the nature of the dispute. For the people who don't know about it, we will just highlight the nature of the dispute. So technically, the Octavia versus Astalia case started in Paris courts and then was shifted to DRC courts, and then eventually it came to Dubai courts, which we will obviously speak about it in a bit. Essentially, the nature of the dispute is about the ownership of a company called NB Mining Africa located in DRC. Thereafter, the claim was brought to the Dubai courts in relation to the enforcement of one of the multiple judgments that was issued in DRC courts. Pascal, we would like to hear a little bit about your basically the significance of the case to Octavia, and how do you see it exactly? How important is it to the company?
Yes, thank you, Adil. This case is important for Octavia regarding consequences in terms of image for the group, and that's first. And also because of the amount concerning. And third, because of the shares of the company, the operative company, which is NB Mining for Africa, that we want to preserve.
Of course, and in such disputes, it is definitely crucial and important for the justice to be prevailed. So as we had just highlighted, that the type of the claim that was filed by Astalia in the UAE was enforcing a foreign judgment. As we had discussed throughout our discussions, there are certain conditions in the civil procedures law that a company has to follow in order to file such a claim. Amongst such requirements are, for example, the judgment to be submitted in its original format, or for it to be attested by the country that issued this judgment, and then for it, for example, not to be against public order. Now, we will get into the details of these issues or these conditions at a later stage. But for now, I would like to ask you, Pascal, what is your impression or your take about the claim that was filed by Astalia in Dubai courts? How do you see it?
Yeah, but before that, I would like just to remind that briefly, in August 2020, Astalia Investment got an unequitous judgment in Kolwezi, DRC, to condemn us. And from that judgment, they despoiled our assets and properties from Octavia Group and from the operative company, which is NB Mining Africa. So this judgment in Kolwezi was supposed to be enforcement of a judgment in Paris. Okay, but that was wrong. And because of this, we are now in Dubai. And I would like to remind that this judgment in Paris never allowed Astalia to get our properties anywhere. We never lose anything against Astalia in Paris. So now for the claim filed by Astalia in Dubai. Look, the formal language in DRC is French, and I was surprised to find out that Astalia did not submit the judgment in its original language, which is French. Also, the lawyers in Dubai were able to find out that one of the paragraphs in the judgment that was issued in Kolwezi was missing.
Was missing, yeah.
Yeah, therefore, this led to further investigations and digging into the reality of the situation. But the reality was this specific paragraph made a huge difference in finding out that this judgment in itself was not enforceable. Okay, that's something very, very important.
I agree, Pascal. So technically, when we were made aware about the proceedings in Dubai and we had a look into the files, we spotted a major sort of missing paragraph that entirely changes the root of the case, which technically says that the $70 million that was awarded by the Kuwaiti courts is not an enforceable amount, especially given that there are proceedings that are still ongoing over there and so on and so forth. And therefore, this was a major point that was focused on in the Dubai courts. So thank you for summarizing your take about the case and the overall impression of what Astalia has done in the UAE. And of course, we all know that there are certain ongoing proceedings in DRC courts that are still part of the overall case. Now, I would like to ask you basically, how did this judgment that was issued by the Dubai Court of Appeal help Octavia? And what is your vision for this judgment in DRC? How could it help you? And what is its impact, technically?
First of all, this highlights that the action that was taken by Astalia was malicious, first of all. And in terms of the impact, I would say that this clarified that the action itself was fraudulent and will definitely support our position in DRC. Okay.
Okay. So when we talk about sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. No. Additionally, it has helped Octavia in achieving the justice in DRC. And now this basically opened doors for us to pursue all the people who were behind such invalid legal proceedings in Dubai just to harm Octavia. And of course, we will also pursue them in DRC.
So when you say that it helps Octavia in achieving justice and potentially help you in your legal position over there, do you think that this judgment could put an end to the long-running feud between both entities?
Yes, I think it will potentially help. Definitely.
We all hope so. We all hope so. So last but not least, I just want to hear from you on what is your impression and how is your experience with the UAE justice system? Was it sufficient and efficient enough? What is your overall impression, especially given that you've had multiple legal proceedings in multiple jurisdictions? So how do you see it and what do you think?
Look, really, I was very impressed about the UAE justice system because it was efficient and fast. I was very pleased and satisfied about this process itself. And BSA, my lawyer, our lawyers, helped me achieve the successful outcome. So I was very happy. Now, this put Octavia in a much stronger position in DRC and in Dubai. And all the seizures made by Astalia in UAE were successfully removed by the court in Dubai. So I would like to thank the court and the justice in Dubai and UAE.
Thank you, Pascal, for these kind words. And just to conclude, as we have had a very brief discussion about this topic, we all know that this is a case that has made major headlines in multiple jurisdictions. And eventually, when the case was brought before the Dubai courts, justice was served, whereby the enforcement of this invalid judgment was rejected by the Dubai courts, following which the seizures that were enforced against Octavia in Dubai were successfully removed. And therefore, this basically opens a discussion about whether or not the conditions of a foreign judgment were fulfilled. And therefore, the courts had delved into these points that were raised by BSA on this point. And it was found that the conditions were not met. The judgment is not an enforceable judgment, and therefore the enforcement proceedings of a foreign judgment were rejected. And to just conclude on this point as well, one of the key issues that we had noted is that there are no diplomatic channels or diplomatic treaties, let's say, between these two countries, the DRC and the UAE, which was also one of the controversial points that we had mentioned in our pleadings. And again, this is a sort of an open-end discussion because the law is silent on this point. And we think it is an interesting issue to be looked into. So thank you, Pascal, for this very interesting discussion. And we always thank you for your time. This is very insightful. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Good day.